Hey folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man at your services. How are you all? Hope you're all doing very, very well. Welcome to another magazine edition on the Kilt-Man channel. This one is for April the 16th, 2023. Now, got a jam-packed show for you today. Oh yes, gonna cover some ground on a global scale. And the usuals will be here, the PEEVE of the week and the EARWORM of the week. Oh, and I've got a doozy for you this time. Right, so the magazine edition is all about things that have happened, things that are happening, things that are yet to happen. And we keep our ear to the ground, our eyes open. We keep alert, look alive, live fast, die hard. So, what's first on the agenda? Okay, well, in sadly what's become a bit of a recurring thing on the channel, which I wasn't looking to do this, but it's happened anyway. The missing people segment. We still have Julian Sands, actor Julian Sands, still missing in the Baldy Bowl mountain region of the San Gabriel mountain range, 40 miles north of LA. Now he went missing on Friday the 13th of January this year, and what, 3 months later, there's still no sign of him. Really, really bad weather has hampered all the search and rescue operations. The sheriff's department and search and rescue, police, everybody has been involved in this, but they've been hampered all the time by snow, blizzards, very strong wind, and just really, really bad weather. And it's not looking like they're going to find him anytime soon, and he certainly will not be alive, folks. We've got to face that fact. Now, his son Henry has, only in the last couple of days, given profuse thanks to all the search and rescue agencies for all their work and efforts and endeavours in trying to find his father. But he said it's been a futile effort, really, because they can't find him. So we've also had another missing person who was found in Snowdonia. I covered this just recently. Ultra Plungine, 56-year-old mother of two, went missing in the Snowdonia National Park in the Rowan Hills, and they found their car. She was with their dog, a Swedish Lapphund. Sadly, they found her deceased, but the dog had kept a vigil beside her. The dog was alive. Terribly sad case. I genuinely thought, when I reported on it initially, that only a couple of days had gone by, so I thought, there's a good chance. But again, really bad weather had hampered all the rescue attempts, and the rescue attempts were really great. They put so much resources into it. There was the Ogden Mountain Rescue Team was there, search and rescue from the police themselves, and a helicopter from RAF Valley, a search and rescue copter was there, and they found her, But the weather again had been really, really bad. Like Snowdonia, it's a mountain range. This is what happens, folks. The hypothermia sets in. We don't know the cause of death yet, but I would suspect the fall and hypothermia, the two combined, maybe. But it's going to take you down. In an isolated area, hypothermia is going to just destroy you. But really freezing weather, temperature dropping down to -2, -3 of the night time, but with the wind chill factor dropping it down to -10, maybe more. So not a good day out, folks, but bad news there. Now, keeping up with this, Nikki Bulley, the mystery of another mother of two who went missing whilst dog walking in St. Michael's on the Wire, River Wire. No introduction necessary, covered it a lot on the channel, a lot. And I've said quite a few times now, and I'm going to say it again now, I don't believe a friggin' word of this case that is said officially, not one word of it. Been bungled and mishandled by Lancashire police right from the word go. It's been a complete clusterfuck, and I do not believe any official line about this. But why is it back in the news again? Her body was found, and they're still doing the inquest. There's still been no cause of death have been released, but only this week, so just a few days before, Lancashire police were spotted again in the River Wire, where her body was found, where they couldn't find it for an entire 3 weeks of intensive searching, even with the best sonar equipment known to man. they found her, well, a dog walker, apparently a psychic dog walker found the body, supposedly. Anyway, they're back in the water, and they were filmed, and to dispel misinformation, ooh, you know, that bugbear of social media, to dispel misinformation about why they were there, Lancashire Police again screwed up by saying, oh, no, we're just following up and we're getting information for Her Majesty's coroner. So they're working at the behest of the coroner, who apparently is dissatisfied with Lancashire Police so far. Nothing big surprise there. And they've said, you know, yeah, this is just normal, you know, so don't get any of your theories or your speculations going again. Well, okay. So they're in the water, and they're less than a mile away from where she went missing, which is the bench, the infamous bench, where she went missing. And what are you looking for? What are they looking for? The coroner, Her Majesty's coroner no less, has compelled them to go back in the water to find something. Now, they haven't said what, but we have Dr. Richard Shepherd, who is a police forensic pathologist who worked on the cases of Howard Shipman and Stephen Lawrence. So he knows his stuff. He's come out and said, I'm struggling to work out what they could possibly find in the water now that will have any effect or influence on the cause of death of Nikki Bulley. Think about that for a second. They bring her body out of the water. They've said all right from the word go, oh, she's in the river. Despite everyone else saying no, she wasn't. And then she's found at a notorious lay-by. Well, just down from a lay-by, where if you were going to dump a body, that'd be the perfect place. Not making things up, I'm just saying, you know. But, and I don't mean to grin whilst going this, because still the massive tragedies involved here. But if that coroner, weeks afterwards, still doesn't know really how she died, well, he does, let's be honest, of course he does. But he's now wanting more evidence to back up her cause of death. So what they're looking for? Is it a weapon? Is it? Is there wounds on her body which suggest something other than simple drowning? We know it's a sluggish river. There's a tidal element, but that's a good few miles away. Quite a good few miles away. And where she went missing, it was sluggish and shallow, you know. Barely moves at all. So she went in by the bench, supposedly. If you've been there, if you look at the area, the bench is on a grassy sort of ridge, and then it slopes down gently into a sandy and sort of rocky bay. The river's way over there. You can't fall off by that bench and end up in the river. It isn't gonna happen. So she didn't go in there. She went in where they found her. And if you ask me, she wasn't there for the 3 weeks they were searching for her. So now the police are now looking for something else. But damn it, they can't hide away, can they? Again, folks, I don't know any inside information. I do not. People do send me stuff about this all the time. And you've got to kind of weed out. There's a lot of huge ridiculousness. If aliens get mentioned again, you know, I don't believe that for 1 second, but you know, I do have a keen interest in the missing 411 phenomena, which this fit the bill. It definitely did. What the profile as set down by David Paulides, who's investigated missing 411 phenomena, people going missing under mysterious circumstances, and then often being found in areas that have been searched previously. Afterwards, water was present, canine was present, and there's a point of separation, and there's other mysterious, the phone, and you know, the lead and the harness of the dog, and all these little elements. You know, Columbo would have a field day with this, you know, and another thing, you know. It beggars belief. There's too much stuff involved in this case, and so little genuine logic been applied to it. So it's ongoing. I mean, I knew I'd be back on this case. I knew I'd be back on it because they haven't said. Now, the family, the partner, who were very keen to be seen on social media during the initial searches, and even had a documentary, which if you watch that documentary, it was on Channel 5 in the UK. No, I could sound really bad here, but I was massively, monumentally unconvinced by her partner's performance in that video when he was interviewed extensively. I just didn't buy that at all. Not one word of what he said. I'm not saying, you know, incriminating anybody. I just didn't believe what I was watching. I didn't believe a word that he said and the way that he said anything at all. Oh, but people act differently under stressful situations and shock. You were very quick to go onto all the media and then condemn all the media as well. Well, social media, that is. TikTok in particular. But now, it's funny how when other people are reacting to, you know, the sad loss of somebody, there's often a press statement, there's often interviews, weeks have gone by. I'm not saying that everyone does this, I'm not saying that they should do this, but given the way that they were beforehand, it seems odd that they're not being interviewed at all. I know, oh, family wants their privacy in this time of grief. Of course they do, of course they do. Buying it. I'm not buying it, folks. Cheers, y'all. As you guys know, when it's a magazine edition, you should grab a tipple and imbibe alongside me, because you're going to need it. We're going places today. We're going places. Cheers, y'all. But yeah, so I would say they're looking for a weapon. I would say that, but that maybe not the case at all. So do not let me put words into your mouth and stupid conspiratorial ideas in your head. It's just me pontificating and, dare I say it, speculating. Oh, you're not allowed to speculate these days. You can't speculate. If you don't speculate, that means you're not thinking about things. And if you're not thinking about things, you're never going to get the answer. So cops, detectives, everybody speculates initially, acting upon the clues and the evidence you have, and you come to an idea. But that is under the umbrella title of speculation. And then, when all the evidence comes together, finally, it's cold, hard fact, of which there's been none in this case. None. I don't believe any. Anyway, let's move on. Missing people, you know. Done that now. Right. I wrote a little list of the things we're going to talk about. But we're going to stick with the police for the time being, because I mentioned previously about a plane, a small, like, two-seater plane flying in incessant circles overhead here a few weeks ago. And I came back from the pub, and apparently it's been going on for a while. Mrs. Kilt-Man and my son were both complaining about the bloody noise of this thing. So I was irate, and I phoned the police, and I got put through to a separate police department. And I said, "Is it one of yours?" I suspected that it probably would be. And the girl I was speaking to actually said, "No, I know I've said this before, but I'm just setting the scene." She went, "Well, I'll just go and check. We've had a few calls about this. I'll just go and check." And then she came back and said, "Yes, it is one of ours." And I've just said before, if you've had a few calls about this already and you've got it confirmed, why did you have to go off and get it confirmed again when you already knew what the answer was? So, you know, that was odd. And she went, I said, "It's one of ours." I said, "Well, it's bloody annoying. What's it doing?" She said, "Oh, nothing to worry about. Its mission will be over in 30 minutes. Well, she was right. It did bugger off. 30 minutes later on, it was no longer there. Well, it's happened again. And in fact, it's happened a few times now. It's happened during the day, it's happened during the evening. So, I did a bit of a search on this. And yeah, they are police, and it isn't just here. It is let me get this right, the Police National Air Service. So the PNAS. Now, these, you have, you know, police helicopters, which we have them a lot over here. The Merseyside Police and their aerial detachment, their Blue Thunder Squad, you know. But they've got these planes as well, which I never knew about beforehand. Now, when you do a little search on this, these planes have been seen recently over Leeds, Bradford, Sheffield, Newcastle, Blackpool, and obviously Merseyside. In particular, Rake Lane in Wallasey, in particular, fucking here. And people have been complaining about it a lot. And the police said, it's Police National Air Service, yeah. Well, what are you doing? Why are they going in circles? Well, it's because, a helicopter can hover, but a plane can't. It's got to keep going forward to keep in the air. Now that makes sense. So to keep in an area, they've got to just do sort of small circles and keep on going. Yeah, but what are they doing there? Why are they doing it? Why are they doing it all the time when they never were before? Oh, they're assisting in operations. What operations? So they mentioned a couple, a missing child, which I think was in Leeds, and so they were assisting in the search. I can believe that. I can believe it. If the helicopter's not available, if it's gone to another job somewhere, and the helicopter will hover directly overhead. We've had this. You can probably see just a haze of light there, which is the kitchen light at the far end. And imagine that as a spotlight beaming down upon me right now. Well, when we hear the thundering, of blue thunder above our house, which you do, and you go, I've gone out at 2, 3 in the morning and stood, in the grounds of Kilt Mansion, and there's a helicopter right above me, and it's like this beam of light. Now we back onto the cemetery, which is just back there, big cemetery. Now, because they'll shut those gates, people who steal cars or they've, done some kind of nefarious deed and are on the run, they run or drive into the cemetery, park the car, sometimes burn it out as well. It's happened a few times. And or just do a runner. And because there's other ways out of the cemetery to different areas. Plus you've got lots of tree cover and lots of mausoleums and graves and stuff to hide behind. So the helicopter's up there and it's directing police cars from all different sides to converge on the Seaview Road entrance, Elston Road, Rake Lane. It's got all these different bits where you can get to. So it's watching. I get that. But it's annoying as hell. Because it really wakes you up. Plus, you're not even sure if some of these ne'er-do-wells are going to start infiltrating, getting over the cemetery walls and arriving in the grounds of the Kilt Mansion. In which case, you don't need the fucking police. I'll sort that out. No problem. No problem whatsoever. But it is annoying. Also makes me think, when people you see there's a UFO and they stand beneath it in a beam of light, and all this sort of stuff. What would you do if you're out in the woods? Oh, you're by a canal side. You could be anywhere, and this beam of light hits you. Are you going to go with them? Are you going to go willingly with them? Well, I know someone, one of my busy mates, oldest mates, Lee Van Keith, we call him, because he looks like the actor Lee Van Cleef. He's a massive Star Wars buff. We've been friends for a long, long time. He's always maintained that, the first opportunity he gets, aliens come to see him, he's going with them. He'll just jettison everything here. Earthbound, family, children. Well, that's it. I'm going. I'm on a journey to the stars. That's what he wants to do. But I wonder, how many people really would do that? I mean, abductions don't tend to be, they haven't been permitted, They just happen, and you wake up with a bloody alien probe up your jacksie, and then you're deposited back somewhere, probably in the nude and a bit of a disheveled state, covered in alien slime. I don't know. Are you going to opt for that? Oh yeah? I don't know. I like to think, I'm intrigued. I'd love to go in a spaceship and travel beyond, but the further away you get from home, you're going to be like, ah! So you go into space, well, you can't get back. If you escape, where'd you escape to? You've had it, haven't you? That's it. So, I don't know. I'd be homesick, I think. But not Lee Van Keith. No, Lee Van Keith will just go off, interstellar. Doesn't care. Going. You might come back like Vija one day, transformed, Borgerized, to try and assimilate the Earth. So, Police, Lancashire. Police, airborne. Police, everywhere. I'm going to stick with the police just for a second, but not our police. Now, you've heard me bang on about China and China's involvement in the world. I mentioned a while ago that China has a police station in the US. It also has one in Canada. And I said, why? Why would China have a police station? Why would China be allowed to have police stations in other people's countries? It's a little bit odd, isn't it? We don't have police stations in Beijing. We don't have police stations in Russia. So why would China have police stations in countries of the Western world? Because when I did some digging around, they're in the UK as well. Well, I bet you didn't know this. There are 2 Chinese police stations in London, and there is one in Glasgow. Now, they are designated as being unofficial police stations because they're actually the one in Glasgow is actually a Chinese restaurant, and I think one's an estate agents in London, but they are known, and our police know about them. And China has actually confirmed, yes, they are. Well, what are they doing there? Why has China got police stations in our country? China has said they are there to monitor political dissidents. But the word apparently is it's to harass political dissidents. China doesn't like people telling tales on their government policies and their communist ways. Doesn't like it. So, you've got police stations there. You've got them in Canada, you've got them in the US, and apparently they're all over Europe as well. Now, if they're all over Europe and the US and the UK, they're going to be in Australia as well. Probably New Zealand. They're probably going to be in Africa. They're going to be everywhere in the Western world. Unofficial, yet totally official police stations manned by Chinese security personnel. And it will be to harass and perhaps extract political dissidents. Anyone who's going to blow the whistle on things that China's up to, and they're up to a lot. I've already said about Justin Trudeau in Canada has allowed thousands of Chinese troops to do Arctic warfare training up in the Yukon. Thousands of them. In an exchange program. Thousands of Chinese troops in the northern tip of North America, in the Yukon. At the same time as this is happening, and I have said this as well, the US border, the southern border with Mexico, is being infiltrated all the time. But in the last few months, last year or so, thousands of Chinese men have crossed that border. Not making any of this up, this is all fact. You go look, it's all fact, it's there. Thousands of Chinese men between the ages of, I think, something like 20 and 35. Not with their families, so not like Mexicans who are crossing the border and bringing their families with them and all that. Thousands. Why would that be then? Why would that be? Now, what they're doing, they're flying out from China and they're going to Ecuador. This is what they've all said. And they're working their way up from Ecuador and crossing the border. The US border force has been completely hamstrung by Biden. Whereas Trump was going to bolster them, Biden has cut them back. He's cut the job that they do. He's made them babysitters for Mexican families, looking after them for a bit, but stopping no one. Stopping no one. These Chinese are coming over. They have a mugshot taken. They're not questioned. They might have their fingerprints taken. Might. Not too sure about that actually. But then they're allowed to go. But where did they go to? They're not monitored. They've gone. That's it. Into the States. Thousands of them. Why? Why are they there? I don't know. But it can't be good, can it? Can't be good. Trump wanted to build the huge wall. The wall. And he wanted to get the Mexicans to pay for it as well. I've always said one of my favourite things ever is the Mexican president. I forgot his name now. President, Velasquez Gonzalez, I don't know what his name is, and with a pretty big Zapata moustache and all that, like a big sombrero. oh, Kilt-Man, you and your stereotypes. They interviewed that president, and he said, well, you know, Mr. So-and-so, like, what do you think about President Trump wanting you to pay for the wall that he's going to build? And this president, in front of the world, he went, and you could tell he was trying to think, I've got to be dignified, I've got to say this right, because everyone's watching me, but, you know, he went, we are not going to pay for no fucking wall. You could see he was thinking, I don't want to swear, but I've got no other option. No fucking wall. Wall? We don't need no stinking wall. And but that wall didn't get built. You've got to remember, there are walled areas. There are walls in place, and there's fences and all sorts. But they need to be repaired. Now, Trump was pumping money into getting this thing built and to bolstering the border force there, to strengthen it. You know, whatever you think of Trump, that's not a bad thing. You want to keep your borders safe. It makes sense. But Biden cut all the border force down, and all the building materials which are there to build the wall and to repair what's already there, the long-standing border itself, physical border itself, to bolster that, but not using it. So he's pumping millions a week into people guarding all these building materials so they don't get stolen, when it would be cheaper to just fucking build the bloody wall. So he's deliberately wasting money and allowing all this influx. You've got people living in the open areas in these southern states who are living in terror because at any time of day or night, they've got floods of people, a lot of whom are armed, coming across the border. How terrifying would that be? And the border force and the police agencies are completely powerless to do anything about it. And they're all getting into the US. It's a standing army, isn't it? I'm not saying that's the Mexican style, but you know, the Chinese. Everyone who leaves China has to have permission by the Chinese government. You can't just leave China. You've got to be permitted to go. Also, China, and you know, if you don't believe what I'm saying, just go check it up. It's all there. These are facts. China, if China leans on you to become a spy for the government, you've got to do it. Because if you don't do it, they're going to lean on your family. And that could mean incarceration, imprisonment, or worse. So you're going to do it. So all these thousands of Chinese men who've gone from China to Ecuador and then flooded into the US, they're on a mission, aren't they? They're spies. Of course they're spies. There's no two ways about it. And even if they weren't, China's given them permission to go. Why would China give them permission to go to America? For their own purposes. So, once you're there, you may have set up a restaurant, you know, a takeaway. You may have done this, that, a gambling den, whatever you've done. But when we get in touch with you to start hacking into government's infrastructure and computer systems, you're going to do it. Because if you don't, you won't see your family again. Got a standing army there, under orders. And you've got the actual army up in Canada. You take this to its maybe absurdist, you know, extremes, and they begin. They're not going to use bullets and bombs. They don't need to do it. They'll be hacking into systems, and they can shut down cities. They can shut down municipal powers. They can shut down the banks. They can shut down anything they want. They don't even need, you know, to bring an army in. And even when they've done that, when they've completely destabilised the US, an army doesn't need to come steamrolling in. They're going to send bombers over, nothing like that, nukes, because the country will tear itself apart. It'll become a third world state. And that is enough to defeat it. Doesn't need to send manpower in. The men on the ground have already done the work. So, strange days, folks, strange days. China. I'm playing Big Trouble in China. I've got Big Trouble in China just behind me there as well. Old Jack Burton wouldn't give a shit though, would he? You know, he'd just knock a few heads together. But yeah, you think about this. So you've got Chinese police stations operating in the UK now. You've got them around Europe. You've got them in the US. You've got them in Canada. Our UK police know about them. And they say that they're under investigation. Go in and close it down. You know, you will have an embassy. They initially said, oh, it's to help, Chinese nationals who are living in your country. They have a problem. Maybe a language could be an issue. Approaching British Bobby on the beat might be a bit of a problem. Fucking finding one's a problem. But they come to us because we can speak their language, even though they've got about 60 billion different dialects. So we can help them. That's not what they're doing, folks. That's not what they're doing. And even that isn't right. Because if you come to someone else's country, you abide by that country's laws. And if you need help, you go to the lawful institutions of that country. You don't bring your own with you. Because their laws are different. Look at Sharia law, It's not the same. You come to someone else's country. I'm not going to go to China or Japan or Indonesia and take my police force with me as a bodyguard. I might need to, but no, I'm not going to. I fucking wouldn't bother with ours, to be honest. But you can't do that. You abide by their laws, their customs. You have to. Oh, but we're all, we're all multicultural now. Oh, we're fucking not. We're not. The West has been completely hamstrung by this multicultural ethic, and I'm not against it. It's just that the ones who are coming in and banging on about, my culture is important, I want to keep it, preserve it. Of course you do, but we can't do it out there. But we allow it here. It's double standards, folks. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And it fosters huge aggression on, the right wing. And I am not in any way, shape or form aligned with anything on the right wing. I'm not in the least. I have my views, but I don't adhere to any political doctrine or any rhetoric that is spouted by those bastards who are just basically thugs, a lot of them. A lot of genuine points, but thuggery hides behind all of that and always finds a release, but it's under the guise of it's we've got to keep Britain British, English, but it's political stuff just being used as a figurehead, a smokescreen for just anarchy, because some people live for that. But I can understand why they get recruits, because they're seeing what's happening and they don't understand what the bigger picture really is, because in so doing and causing social anarchy and upheaval, the enemy wins as well, because they see a country and a society tear itself apart with into hatred of its own kind. We're doing their work for them. Gotta wake up, get them sorted out, shut these police stations down, and these people who are operating them, get them out. Get your borders sorted out. US, you guys, you're in trouble. You are in trouble. Something's got to happen there. And, you've got it from both sides. A standing army, because they can just... Trudeau's not going to stop the Chinese coming. If they say, well, we want to come over, he'll let them go. He'll let them come. Oh, yeah, as many as you want, don't worry. It's a pussy, Justin Trudeau. It's in the pocket, Beijing. I promised before this video that I wasn't going to be ranting this time. And I'm not really. I'm not going to rant. Let me just check my other notes. Oh, there will be a rant, but not a big one. So you've got to think. Now, please do your own homework on this. The mass media will not tell you any of this. They will not. They will not report on it at all. So go and check. Go and check on the Police National Air Service. Go and check on Chinese police stations in other countries. go and check on Trudeau allowing Chinese troops in the thousands to do Arctic warfare training on his land. The Chinese have got mountains and snow as well. They don't need to come. I mean, you know, and a border which is just, it's like bloody Swiss cheese, isn't it? They're just streaming across. It is a joke. It is an absolute joke. Biden actually did pump some money, a few million, into the border force. He did, but that was a smokescreen, because it didn't give him anywhere enough. He'd also cut their numbers down. So, you know, oh, it gives you loads of money, but you've cut down the numbers of border force, you know, officers. So you can't do the job anyway. Not enough of them. It's almost as though some of our Western governments seem to want the Chinese to be in. Why? Would it be because they're in the pockets of the Chinese themselves, and when the big invasions take place, they'll be okay? So do you think? So do you think? Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. Oh, but back on planes, and this is a bit weird. Now, you know, I'm an avid sky watcher. You know, I love looking at the stars. I love looking at the clouds. I love looking at UFOs, shooting stars and things. The other day, I was out the back, and I saw, we've had the incidents of all the crisscrossing contrails, which looked like someone was playing a massive game of, you know, OXO across the sky. It was just grid pattern. There was hundreds and hundreds of planes in the sky, which must have been a logistical nightmare to have done. And I don't know why they're up there, but it hasn't happened since. So not to that degree. But the other day, sitting out there, and it was a lovely blue sky as well. And I could see a plane was heading. Now, from the way I'm going to show you this now, it'll be the wrong way around, but I know what I'm talking about. Ish. It was coming from the, hang on, I wrote this down actually. One was coming from the south, it was coming up. And a plane was coming from the northwest, so it's coming down. That's the angle I'm looking at, probably reversed for you guys. And I thought, And I thought, well, that to my untrained eye looks like a collision course. I thought, I'm going to watch this, see how this plays out. It's not overhead, so I'll be all right. It was actually probably where it was would be just out on the Irish Sea, just out, and like coming down like that. And I thought, shit, they're not moving. Now I know one could be several thousand feet above the other. I know, but they didn't. They looked the same, you know, dimensionally. And I thought, oh shit. And what happened was they didn't hit, obviously, but you might not have heard about it. And the one on the course go south to north kept on going and didn't deviate. But the other one, suddenly after passing this other plane, continued on its course, but began to make these crazy S shapes, like a big snake. And seemingly heading into North Wales, which is over there. So it kept on its major course, but it was doing this weird, lazy sort of S pattern. And I thought, that was odd. It didn't last long. I mean, there was no chance of me going, oh, I'm going to film this. Because it lasted literally about, 45 seconds of actual visible viewing of what was taking place. And then this other meandering plane disappeared as well. And they were planes. What was that about? Was that almost a near collision? And the other one pilot kept, I'm coming through. I was here first. You know, I've got flight coordinates and permission from air traffic control in Manchester, so I'm coming over. Not Manchester, it would be Liverpool. Let's get this right. It'd be Liverpool he's going to. And so I'm in control here. I was here first. And the other plane's going, oh, fucking hell, they didn't see you coming. And he's gone, whoa, and he's like, slithering all around the sky. Very odd. Very odd. I think we're done with planes now. I think we're done with planes and police. I think we are. And I think we're done with China as well at the moment. Apart from this, of course. Okay. People ask about the spooks in Kilt-Man, of which we do have, and well documented, of course. And very often nothing's happened, but there's been something lately. There's been the shadows on the wall, which Mrs. Kilt-Man is mostly the victim of, but there's been voices as well in the last week or so, and it's been me that's heard these, although I think my daughter heard them as well, because we both she was up in the room and I was down here, and both of us thought the other one was shouting, the other one, and we sort of met way down the hall there, and I said, what? She went, well, you shouted me. I said, I didn't shout you. She goes, you did. I said, you shouted me. And you know, we do the kind of thing you go like, oh, because we're not frightened by it. It's just eerie, and I kind of like it as well. But that was the other day. But yesterday was Grand National Day. Yesterday was also the 32nd anniversary of me and Mrs. Kilt-Man going out with each other. It's also, sadly, why we don't celebrate it is because it's also the anniversary of Hillsborough, the Hillsborough disaster. So we don't do much for our anniversary. But it was Grand National Day, so I was out. But before I went out to watch the race, I was here in the kitchen, and again I heard what I thought was a female voice, not shouting, but just talking loudly. Well, we've got several rooms on each floor, like so, but I thought, well, it sounded close, so I thought it's in the movie room, but they're talking out into the hall to someone probably halfway up the stairs. I mean, that's what I thought, and I heard it again, and I was out here. Now I had music playing, but I heard it above that, so I thought, who's that? Because I didn't recognise the sound of the voice. It was female and sounded young. Of course, my daughter's young. Mrs. Kilt-Man isn't so young. So I went out, and there's no one there, of course. So I went upstairs, and there were people in the house, and I went, anyone been shouting? No. I've got a son as well. Like he was dead to the world. He was asleep, and so that I analysed it again. Where did the sound come from? Down there. It was female, and it was speaking calmly, but I couldn't understand the single word that it actually said. And it was like it was replying or calling. It was like it was having a conversation. There'd be a snatch of bit of wordage, then silence, then another snatch of wordage. Now no tellies were on. There were no TVs. Only bit of music playing here, and that was music, no dialogue. So now we've been told that it is a female that haunts this place, and it's a young girl. I have discussed many of the incidents, and I'll do another resume of all the stuff that's happened here. There's been loads, but it doesn't happen very often. It normally happens when you've redecorated a room or you've moved furniture around, and it's almost like the spook is saying, hang on, okay, you've done it, I can't stop you, but you didn't ask my permission first, so I'm just stamping my feet and letting you know that I'm here as well, and I might not approve, so just remember I'm here. That's the way I take it, and you might get a period of about 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, where phenomena take place, and there's been plenty, but the last few years I've been really, to be honest, very, very quiet. There's just been the odd thing, the shadows on the wall. There's been things moving. You get this sort of thing, but we're kind of used to that kind of thing now. Not too major, but this is to people asking me. There's been voices, so I don't know. But we got told it's a female, but it's a girl. And I said, well, there's things happening. There's physical things happening. A small girl couldn't do it. I said, no, doesn't matter. In their realm, normal physics don't exist, don't apply. They can lift things, they can reach heights. You know, it doesn't matter. They're in control of a lot more than you could possibly imagine. Oh well, that's reassuring. Can they refill my bottles of whiskey for me, please? Speaking of spirits, obviously. Okay. Oh right, yeah, spiders. Well, of course, it is now. We're into spring, heading into spring, And spiders who've come in for the winter to shelter from the British weather, have come indoors, they're now heading outdoors to find a mate and to live in the sunshine and the fucking rain as well. Dickheads. But you tend to see spiders when they're on the move. They're moving in for a few weeks, then they're moving out. A few week sort of period of transition. So you see them scuttling them out, you know. And you go, oh my God. Now, as you guys well know, I'm not the best with spiders, and nor is most of my family. I was the unlucky recipient of a rather nasty spider bite, which was on the top of the back of my right thigh. Painful and big, and it took two doses of antibiotics to even dent, you know, the infection that it caused. And the doctor, female doctor, I went and I said, what the hell is this? And then she went, oh, it's a spider bite. I went, my worst ever fear. I was like, what? I said, what fucking spider did that? You know, and she went, oh, it's just a common house or garden spider, a British spider. I said, you're fucking kidding me. I didn't F and blind quite as much, although I was in a state of shock. And she said, no, it's just, you just had a bad reaction. And as she said, which I also know anyway, we get bitten all the time, and all spiders carry venom. Every single spider has venom in it to kill its prey, little diddy ones. But and it's also a fact that the bigger the spider is, the less potent its venom is, because it doesn't fucking need it. That's why. It's big and nasty. It's got big fucking teeth on it as well. Oh God. But the little ones, they're the more potent ones because they've got to overpower stuff. So anyway, because I know they've all got venom and you get bitten all the time. It's just this particular time you've had a reaction to it, and a bit of a bad one as well. So yeah, I'm a bit wary of spiders. But I was in bed. Mrs. Kilt-Man was already in bed, and she had her laptop on and her tablet, and she's watching stuff like, I don't know. And I got into bed, and it wasn't until, and I fell asleep very quickly, and it wasn't until the next morning that she was getting out of bed, and she went to retrieve her slippers, and she went, oh my God, like that. And I went, oh, what is it? She was like, I just remembered what happened last night. And I went, what happened last night? I was thinking, what did I do last night? What did I do? I know I've been drinking, but what did I get up to? And she went, you were asleep, and I was just sitting there, and I had my tablet propped up, and I was watching something, and at the corner of my eye, I saw a spider, a big one, run across the floor of the bedroom, and I jumped, and then I went, well, they're on the move, aren't they? I mean, I don't like them, but I love the fact we have them because they do a job. I don't hate spiders, but I just wish they'd just do their thing away from me. And but I do find them fascinating. And I don't want to hurt them. I don't want to hurt a spider. Sadly, I have murdered many spiders over the years. It's been a case of it's me or you. I'm afraid you're going down, you know. So, and I am bitter about the bite as well. But no. I love and admire them, but I just not that keen on them being around. So I was like, oh my God, well, they're on the move though. It's springtime, so you know they're moving about. You're going to see them a lot more. And she went, yeah, but this is what she said. She went, yeah, because she's got her side of the bed. My side of the bed's got all books on movies. We've got a TV there as well, and a big TV and loads of movies stacked up. And I've got a big tartan wall, big kilt wall I've got as well, and stuff. There's props there, you know. It's a very strange bedroom. A lot of women would not venture into our bedroom. So kudos to Mrs. Kilt-Man for going in there at all. Especially when I'm in there as well. And there's spears, there's knives, there's all sorts of things under the bed, like, because you never know what you're going to need. And loads of movie magazines and stuff, like, and books. And on her side, she's got like lots of official documents, like just, you know, I don't know, all our legal documentation in a little filing system. But it's over the years, it's begun to spill out, and she's got stuff like files on the floor. So there's a bit of papery on that side. And she goes, you know what, it came out last night and it ran into all the documentation there. She goes, I heard it scuttling around. And I went, You heard it scuttling around. You heard it. She went, yeah, it was. Well, that shit me up good style. What fucking spider can you hear moving about? Unless it's got hobnail boots on, for Christ's sake, and it's stomping around. Yes, I'm here. This is my spec. I'm going to build a web there. And there's nothing you can do about it. Stomp, 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 stompity stomp. Spiders' legs, they're very fragile creatures. Even the bigger ones are very fragile. And their feet will end in little spikelets, which is how they can cling to walls and things. Because these are microscopic and they can go into every little tiny orifice and crevice. That's a bit worrying, isn't it? They can get into every orifice and crevice. Think about that. And that's how they climb up walls and hang off ceilings and things and walk along their webs so delicately. You know, they're not stomping round, are they? In big mosher boots. I said, you heard it? She went, oh yeah. I said, you heard it over the thing you were watching on your tablet? I said, yeah, it was. Oh God, I was almost sick. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. You're making that up. I said, no, it was rustling around. What? Is it going through all important papers and all that? Like, oh yeah, paid the mortgage off. Okay, well. And, oh, God almighty. Oh, that shit me up good style. So I thought, all of a sudden, the bed becomes this precarious island in pure jeopardy. And I think there's a million, billion, zillion, trillion places to hide with all the books and knives and kilts and documents and books and oh my God. If it's big enough to make a noise while I was walking on paper. She said, I think it may have slipped. I said, you what? She goes, well, there's some loose, like this, loose sheaves of paper. And it may have knocked one, it slid down and scampered back up. I said, you're making it sound like the fucking Great Escape. You know, it's slipping and sliding and trying to get to safety. They're silent. Even the big ones don't make a fucking noise. You make a noise when you see it, but my God. The terror. Spooks and spiders. Fucking hell, you know. And as I said before, I love words that begin with SP. Like spoon and spud. But spider. Not on my top 10 list of SP words. Anyway, so we've heard disc 1 of Big Trouble in Little China. Let's go on to disc 2. That one there. Oh, and the first track's called Call the Police. Not the Chinese police. Don't do that. Although if you did call the police, you'd probably get the Chinese ones coming on quicker than the fucking UK police would ever arrive. So, oh yeah, right. The oldest piece of tartan has been found in Glen Affrig in the Highlands, Scotland. Of course, you know, I am the Kilt-Man. I wear a kilt every day of my life. I have a kilt wall, as I just mentioned, to rival the Great Wall of China. In fact, my kilt wall could actually act as the barrier between the US and Mexico. It's that big, that thick, that impenetrable. But the oldest bit of tartan material was found in a peat bog in Glen Affrig. Now, it took them 6 months to work it out. 6 months, that's a lot of testing you're going to do, isn't it? No man-made dyes in it, and carbon dating and all that kind of stuff. In a peat bog, it's the way things get preserved in peat bogs because there's no air, it doesn't get in, so it doesn't deteriorate. So we found this, and it's 500 years old. So that dates back to the reign of King James V of Scotland. Now, this is, and it's I wrote it down. Hang on, what colours is it? Green and brown, red and yellow, and it'll be plant dyes and animal residue to make the dyes and the colours. But it's tartan. Now, back in that time, they weren't wearing kilts as we know them now. It would be a sort of garment. The the officials who've worked it out, the historians, have said it's nothing to do with royalty. People always just assume, oh, that must have been a royal. If it's a pretty pattern back in those days, it must be royalty. I said, no. Tartan pattern would have been around. We know it's certainly around afterwards, but this is the earliest we found of a tartan pattern in Scotland ever. 500 years old. Now, that piece is now going to be, well, it's not there yet, but it's going to go to the V&A Museum in Dundee, which I've been to. Very compact and bijou little museum, but well worth it though. And so it'll be on display there. Wouldn't mind seeing that actually. I love tartan, as you know. I love kilts. This wasn't from a kilt. Kilts didn't come into Scotland until afterwards, and kilts as we know them, it was the late 16th century when they, as we kind of know and appreciate them now, that's when they came in. And kilts have been worn in almost every culture around the world. Non-bipedal trousery, lower hemisphere garments for men and women have been in existence since the dawn of man, since man started putting clothes on, like, you know. So Scotland getting them. Scotland adopted the kilt as a massive, massive thing, of course, and tartan became the identifier for the clans. And I've gone about this many, many times before, but all of this didn't come in until, say, the late 16th, early 17th century. But kilts were in existence beforehand. They just weren't patterned, and they were based mainly on Scandinavia, because the kilts in Scotland came from Scandinavia. Oh, by the way, something else that I think it was our good friend from down under, it was Scrowy, sent me this image of a map of the world, and the way the tectonic plates used to be. There was a massive mountain range. Oh, see, I've gone from tartans to mountains. Mountain range, which spanned from the top of the northest point of the earth to the southernmost tip of the earth. And it was a huge swathe of mountains, and it covered from all of Scandinavia, came through Scotland, came through all of Ireland, came through here where I am right now, went into the Appalachian Mountains of the east coast of America, and then travelled down into Africa. And it was a huge mountain range, because we were all joined, and then we broke apart and all that. Like, so it's all connected, you know. And I love that. I love that sort of thing. So we were all, and the way it's been drawn, and obviously they do seismic, you know, testing and all that, and they can, you know, map all these plates, and they can fit it like a jigsaw, fit it back together again, and it forms this swathe across the globe. Incredible, isn't it? You know, we were all connected, you know, at one point. So, cheers to Scrubby for that, like. So yeah, if you get a chance, if you're even remotely interested in tartan, go to the V&A Museum in Dundee in about a month's time. I think that's when it'll be exhibited, about a month's time. And yeah, I haven't seen a picture of it, to be honest. I've just heard the news. But yeah, so it's great stuff. Right, we turn the page over. Filmic news. Oh God, there is a film which is now in development, and I was drawn to it right away. It was called Howl, and I thought, ooh, a new werewolf movie, please. It's not. Howl, I forget the people who are making it now. I should have made some notes on that really, but I didn't. But it's about, oh God, I don't even want to talk about this now. A dog who's been left at home while his owners have been out somewhere in America, probably rurally area, and the owners are killed in a car crash. The dog waits at home. They don't turn up. And it's a tale about the dog surviving. It obviously gets out and it meets an orphaned wolf cub, and the two will form a bond. The makers have said it's a heartbreaking tale of survival. Well, fuck that then. That's going to be a tearjerker and a half. I ain't doing it. I love me dogs. I love nature. I love wolves, and I don't want to see him in trouble. I can't do that. I won't do that. Does sound interesting though. because they said they've used groundbreaking technology, or it's only in development. They're going to use groundbreaking technology to put you in the dog's paws. So you're gonna, and I kind of like the idea of this. You're gonna see everything kind of like from the dog's point of view. So you'll be sniffing other canine and lupine arseholes, you know, cocking your leg everywhere. You're going to be doing all the sniffing and smelling and the way you see things. So it'll probably be filmed low to the ground, but he used the word heartbreaking. This is the director and the creator. Used the word heartbreaking. That's it. I'm out. No way. Probably. But it's not going to be. How can it be a happy ending? It's not going to resurrect its parents, is it? Its mum and dad, its owners. Unless it just goes off with this wolf and lives a paradisical life, you know, in the woods. I don't know. So no, I'm out. Renfield came out. I reviewed it. I gave a non-spoiler review of Renfield. Nicholas Hoult and Nicolas Cage. Cage is Dracula. Hoult is Renfield. Renfield is the fly-eating familiar for Dracula, his slave. And it's a neon-draped, CG gore-tastic explosion of laughs, gags, some land, some don't, and inanity, anarchy and inanity. But a nice sort of gaudy pastiche and follow-on to the original Bela Lugosi 1931 Dracula, directed by Todd Browning. And I gotta be honest, I did enjoy it. It is a bizarre movie. It fucks up by taking away from the huge elements of Dracula and Renfield and their dynamic by bringing in Eastern European gangsters who've got the gang name of Lobos. That's wolves again, but that's Hispanic. For fuck's sake, you know, they're clearly Eastern European, and they're clearly from the John Wick universe, or rather, you know, they're so far down, they're not even on the map, as they would say in The Warriors, you know. But it's gore aplenty. You've got Aquafina as a New Orleans cop, and with a backstory, and she and Renfield will form an attachment. And you've got, it's a 93-minute movie. About 8 or 9 minutes of that are credits. So it's a short film with extreme bloodletting all the way through, and it's a laugh riot, or so the makers want you to think. But, you know, it's out. Evil Dead Rise, another Evil Dead movie, is out in just a few days' time. I will be there for the first showing. I will be reporting massively upon that because I love the Evil Dead franchise. Love, 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 love it. If you haven't seen it, please do watch my Evil Dead 2 watch-along party, where I just sit there like this. All you see is me looking that way at the screen, which you can't see, playing Evil Dead 2. And I'm just talking all the way through it as a commentary track. The idea is you watch the film as well, so you get your own copy. I can't show it you because you get blocked. Not allowed to do that. I know some people do. I don't know how they get away with it because I don't get away with it. So you've got to put your own copy of the movie in, and you sit there and we go 3, 2, 1, and we're in sync. Off we go. So please do that. Okay. Peeve of the week. Peeve of the week. I always do a peeve of the week. Something that's pissed me off. Well, it's not just this week, it's fucking every week. And this, and there's one particular culprit as well. And that particular culprit is Mrs. Kilt-Man. Now, she's not alone in this. There are other people. But because I'm with her a lot of the time, it's her that does it the most. It's talking to someone whilst walking away. So, you're talking to me, and I'm going, yeah, right, okay, so, oh yeah, well, I'll tell you what, we'll meet at, and you're going, what did you say? And then the person goes, I just told you, it's, and they walk off again. How can you fucking hear someone when they're walking away from you and they're talking in the direction that they're going and you're behind them? Unless they're shouting like the fucking ghost in this house. How can you hear them? Oh my God, the amount of times I've gone, what are you saying? What? And it gets me immediately peeved It gets me massively pissed off. What are you saying to me? You know, and the thing is, I can't storm off and go like the other way and go like, well, I don't care what you said. Because usually it's about something I've got to do or something that we've got to do. So it's an important thing. If it's just banal bullshit, oh, it's right in your face, yakety yak, blah, 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 and I did this, and then she said that, and I go, fuck him, I don't care. There's another peeve, that's another peeve, just thought about it. But the important stuff, they say with their back to you and walking away. And a variation of it, and again, it's Mrs. Kilt-Man that does this. Oh, God, I said there'd be a rant, didn't I? In the car, in the Kilt-mobile, the tartan gas chariot. If I'm in the back, there's reasons sometimes why I'm in the back, because I've got a hostage there. You know, just drive. I'll be in the back for whatever reason. And Mrs. Kilt-Man's driving away, because I don't drive. As you know, I don't drive. And the world is a safer place without me driving. But I'll be in the back. Usually sitting right behind her because there's stuff piled up here or whatever, you know, or someone else is there, the hostage, you know, and someone in the front seat as well. Because when the kids get involved in a journey in the car, well, Dad, well, fuck off, Dad, you in the back, well, okay, yeah. And if the dog's there as well, then I've got the dog as well, all over me like, that's great, I don't mind that at all. But, so Mrs. Kilt-Man's driving away, and she have music playing or the radio on, so there's other sound there. And she's obviously, you know, keep your eyes on the road. I get that, I'm all right with that, totally fine, keep driving. People that can't drive always simulate driving by doing this. Now, if you were driving like that plane, you'd be like fucking making S's all over there. Jeez, like a big metallic snake slithering everywhere. So she's just like that. And she's talking, but she's talking to the windscreen, the windshield, some people call it. She's talking ahead. I'm right behind her. How the fucking hell can I hear a word she's saying? Well, I've learned over the years just to fucking ignore it. Because I'm not in control. She's driving, so if she's telling me important details, then, well, when we get to wherever we're going, those details will become crystal clear at some point. So why have I got... I don't go, what? Well, no, I'll be honest, sometimes I do, because it just... She goes on for like literally about 5 minutes, and I can hear snippets of voice, but no idea what it's telling me. And then after 5 minutes, as verbiage has taken place, I'll go, I didn't aware of that. What was that again? And then she gets annoyed with me. Well, I've said so many times, I can't hear you. You're talking ahead of you. I'm behind you. You've got music playing. What the fuck? You know, and when it's in the house, it's always, because the other variant's always in the house with her. And she'll be walking, you know, down the hall, and I'm here, for example, and she'll walk out, go blah, 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 and it's fucking miles long, that corridor. And I've got, what? So I've got to go out to the doorway and go, what? And she'll turn out, she'll, are you listening? I've just said, but then she'll turn around again and go through another room, and I don't know, you know, do I do that? I don't think I do. I'm very sort of in your face when I talk. Oh, that sounds quite aggressive and intimidating. Fucking right. No, I talk to people. You know, I talk to you. I look you in the eye as well. I'm one of those disconcerting bastards, like a scanner. I'll scan you. No, that's just the way I am. I don't do a flippant, you know. yeah. I'll get you later. You know, I don't. Oh, I'll get you later. You know. In fact, no, I'm going to get you right now. Oof! You know, now, I'm more direct. And I think it's very rude to walk off. Maybe it's familiarity with someone. Oh, because, you know, we love each other, don't we, and all that. So we know our foibles and all that. We know our ways. Yeah, I might do. And I don't fucking like half of them, you know, because I can't hear what you're saying. But it isn't just her. There's people in the pub that do this. There's people in the office that do this. There's people in every walk of life and in every environment that do this. Will start talking and then walk away from you. Right? is that shit you're saying there? And the thing is, people do it in a pub as well. And I've seen this a lot. And they'll start talking to you. Because, you know, that thing, you might be, when you're with your mates or the people that you're supposed to be with, you're all there, bicker banter, yeah, it's fine. Whether you're stood at the bar, you're sitting down at the table, or you're at the beer garden, wherever. Or you're propping up the bar. Wherever you are, you're with them and you're all talking. And I'm kind of looking up because I'm always a short arse in these things. And everyone around me is fucking tall. I'm like a hobbit who's strayed out of the Shire. Everyone's fucking tall compared to me. And but at least, you know, you're aware of who's talking and we're all talking inwardly towards each other. But there are people, and it's usually, you know, you come in, maybe I've got the dog with me or whatever, like you get me whiskies, 2, and I go, yeah, 2. And a pint, oh yeah, I got a pint. To be having pints as well as the whiskies now these days. Hence why my face is getting chubbier, because beer bloats me. It puts jowls on me. I look like, looking more and more like my dad each day now. Anyway, so you get a drink and that, like, and he's talking, and people are going like, oh, Kilt-Man, hey, are you alright? Or people who don't like calling me Kilt-Man go like, Chris, oh, Chris. And I just ignore him. I'm like, who's that? Who's Chris? Chris who? And so we have a natter in passing, but then I'll stop, make sure I get me drinks. Then I'll turn around, and then someone goes blah 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 blah, and then turns around and sort of walks off around the other side of the bar, and you go, well, you were talking to me, Travis Bickle there. Are you talking to me? Look, I didn't see anyone else here. Me, apart from a husky. Are you talking to me? And they've gone around the other side, and they're waiting for your reply, and you're going like, because you know the angle of the bar, and that may be where they come round it, talk to someone else or get a drink or whatever, but they've gone the other side, and like, so you're on this angle, this triangular angle. You're here, they're there, and they expect you to reply to what they've just said as they turn their back on you and walked around the corner, and you're like, I've got no idea what you said, and you just go look at you like, oh, I just said, you know. And then they do that, oh, I just said, and they talk down into the bar. You're like, if you're going to say something, fucking say it. And say it to me, to my face. Just say it. Don't retreat. Don't walk away. Don't give me a day's itinerary whilst driving with your back to me. You know, just tell me beforehand or tell me afterwards. Or fucking text it to me before you start driving. See how I threw the safety angle in there? But, oh, folks, doesn't that piss me off, you know? So, a lot of people I know have got a huge lump on the back of their head. When they've walked off, talked to me, and I've gone like, fuck it up, I'm right here, I'm here. Stay and talk to me. You know. Peeve of the week, folks. And I'm sure you agree with that. I mean, a peeve of the week as well is fucking police planes buzzing circles over your head. Chinese fucking restaurants, Chinese police stations posing as restaurants, and noisy spiders. That's one I don't like. Okay, right. Let's go on to the earworm. I promised you a couple of doozies, didn't I? Right, hang on a second. Right, now, look. These, because I'm going to play you two. These are remixes of UFO and Joe90. UFO and Joe90. Jerry and Sylvia Anderson, and the great Barry Gray did the soundtracks for these fabulous, you know, super dynamation. You know, they're all like on fucking strings and all that, like Thunderbirds and Stingray and all that kind of stuff. Although UFO was live action, of course. God, with Gabrielle Drake, the Angels. Oh God, Gabrielle Drake. By the way, Gabrielle Drake was in a lot of erotic movies as well. Not full stuff, but erotic sort of comedies and dramas. And he's uber sexy with that purple bowl head and the skin tight attire that they wear. The Angels, you know, with the interceptors, you know. But yeah, if you were totally turned on by her, well, you can see what resided underneath, because she didn't mind getting her bits out. So anyway, Gabrielle, love you. So the remixes, one is a mashup of the UFO main theme and the Joe90 main theme, right? Which are both fucking gorgeous, but imagine mashing them up. Now, I should have and haven't written down the people that did these remixes. So I will put the links to them in the description below, because give them all the credit, you know, because, well, not all the credit, because they've took other people's music, another person's music, and then remixed it. So I think we're on safe ground when it comes to copyright, because you've done it. I'm just celebrating your remixes, and I do love them. They've been brilliant. They've been earworms for me for like, God, best part of a week now, as our good friend on the Emerald Isle, Captain Ronnie, he knows, because I shared them with him. He knows all about these already, and he's fucking addicted as well now. So, right, let's get on this. Now there's two tracks by two different DJs, remixers. I don't know what you call them these days. What is the word on the street? I don't know. This is the Joe90 86 Club Mix. By the way, I don't even know what Joe90 was about. I remember the title sequence of the kid in that big spinny gyroscope thing, just going like, but this fucking theme. You know it. This gets bigger, jazzier, more completely synthier, with an echo effect as well on the trumpets and the brass work. Of course, it was also used in the Chris Evans in not Captain America, Chris Evans Ginger DJ on TFI Friday a lot. It's so fucking upbeat. It's pretty authentic so far. But it will take on an aspect of almost what I imagine to be Jules Holland and his rhythm and blues band playing at the end of Blackpool Pier in the year 3000. It's that echoey, synthy brass. And that slide. See him at the end of the pier, can't you? It's just like the in-house band. But in the year 3000, it's all hyper glistening and, you know, completely synth and electronic. Isn't that great? Just adding so much sort of like echoey reverb. And it is one of the best themes ever. So addictively catchy. I don't even know what Joe90 did. What did he do? He's a school kid. And his dad was a scientist. I'm gonna walk off like that. It's quite epic, isn't it? Isn't it? It's a jazzy band in a seedy resort, but propelled by another century of technology, but still old compared to everything else. They're all old and like Not sure what that was. Fucking piccolo or something, I don't know. Yeah, it just comes back again. Everyone's going like, oh, I've had enough of this now. Nah, I'll stop watching this now. Don't blame you. But you're wrong, you're missing out on so much more. That little echo. That's, you know, old and decrepit. There's a big dance floor covered in cobwebs. And they're playing this, and you grab your aged missus, you know, come on, and you start doing that old antiquated body popping thing with all your new artificial limbs. So listen to this now. Oh, no. This is the one. This is the one that got Captain Ronnie as well. This is the one now. So this is the one I was going to do all along, but I threw in. So all that was an extra piece. Here, so this is a bit shorter by, well, not by much, but this is the Joe90 Vs UFO remix. So it's a mashup of UFO, which is awesome, and the Joe90 theme, which you've heard there. And there's a little touch of Stingray thrown in for good measure, because why not? This kicks ass. This is UFO. That tambourine, huh? If you listen, you'll hear the Joe90 begin to come in, and the transition's beautiful. Isn't that great? And we're back! It's Joe90 all over again! But we'll go back to UFO with some dialogue as well. You know, if you're a DJ, or you can do all this sort of stuff, and you can mix and match and patch things together. These are godsends, aren't they? Great, well-known themes you can push into one another and see through. You know, right, here's your spell. Now we're going to do this again. Now we're going to bring them both together in a big mash-up. It's God's gift to a remixer, isn't it? This is still authentic. Both were authentic, brought together. One seeped into the other. But then you get a bit more. I can't play drums. Drums are going like, yeah, you fucking can't. big, isn't it? Can't play drums, can't dance either. UFO's coming back. A little homage to Stingray there, just crept in. This is the other bit of the main theme of Stingray, UFO. Where's that? You know, the interceptors, always 3 of them, always moving the same direction, same shot every fucking time, and then spinning UFOs. Of course it is. The Chinese have infiltrated. It'll get clearer. Interceptors, immediate launch. Ba, 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 ba. You're dead. These clouds gives them much cover as a G-string on a belly dancer. I fucked the line up. I couldn't remember it at all. Why do that sort of thing? Right, oh, there's that great line that is quoted. I'm going to do it now. And then you forget it. And you stutter your way through it. I apologise. That bass line there, I'll do it again slightly, and then I'm going to show you another bass line. This is a massive E-win for you now. You're getting more than you bargained for. I have done a video on these themes, Barry Craig themes, before. This is so cool. This doom 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 doom. Tambourine just adds a bit. William Shatner in the background singing Mr. Tambourine Man. I say singing. That's superb. Whoever did that, you did that perfectly. But talking about bass lines, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to do it. And every DJ has attempted this. Every remixer has done their version of Assault on Precinct 13 from John Carpenter. And this, of course, is the remixed. This is a remix itself. I've got the original score, but this is the remixed version by Alan Howard, who was John Carpenter's major collaborator throughout many movies. And this does sound crisper and Assault on Precinct 13. Folks, you know it. And you love it. so deep and fat. Fat with a PH. I don't know what it means. Fat. It's like, whoa. It hits every pore in your skin. It makes your tongue go to the back of your throat. The gang that swore a blood oath to take down Precinct 13 and every cop in it. Fucking awesome movie. It's a western, a modern day western. And with this score. So that's 3 earworms you've got now. 3! Don't say I don't give you nothing. It's buy one, get 3 for free. No, you bought 1. It turns over. It's mean. It's badass. It's fat. And that almost like bamboo reeds. And while we're here, I know I've done this before. I've played this. I've reviewed the movie. I've reviewed the score. But I think we're going to go on to the windows. This is, I just love this piece of music, and I love the sequence in the movie. This is where the gang attacks, and they've got Napoleon Wilson out of this jail, out of this cell, and they've got to fight back. They've got shotguns, they've got handguns, they've got a bloody sniper rifle, for God's sake, and the gang is coming in everywhere. So it's called The Windows. Oh my God. And it's kind of this bit of music. This is Napoleon Wilson. This is his theme. This arch sort of well-known criminal, but he's got a code of ethics. He will not leave a sick man behind. You know, there's 2 things a man should never run from. One's a man who's sick and can't run with you, and the other, as he looks at the girl, Laurie Zimmer, the secretary in Precinct 13. He's fallen for it. Isn't that great? There's an echo effect there as well. Oh, fuck off now, come on. I'm giving you the best fucking music out there. For us guys in our 50s now. I don't feel 50. I do fucking look it though. Yeah. There was a time when people used to say to me, I'd be in town, I don't know, even the last sort of 10 years, the kilt, the vest, pumped up, and strutting me stuff. And I'd be like, my God, coming over. A lot of Americans coming over, a lot of women coming over, and I'd be posing for pictures and all. This is Kilt-Man, hated it. Because there's always like, on Facebook, there's just like tons of pictures of me with women. And I don't regret a moment of it. And they'd be going like, how old are you? And I'd go, I'm probably about 48. And they go, no way, you're about 30, no way. And I know I'm 48. So I'd tell them my age, didn't believe me. Now I can ask my age, and they go, I'll be 54 this year. And they go, no way! I thought you'd about 58, at least. You know what that is, don't you, folks? It's stunning. Well, this magazine's gone somewhere, hasn't it? This is the gang, Street Thunder, who are going to take over LA. The stolen M16s. And a Cholo, you know, a blood oath to destroy. No, let's go on to second wave. Sorry, no, the windows. It's all this reeds and bamboo. It's not, it's all Prophet 5 and synthesizers. And they said they're getting ready because the gang's going to storm in. Ultra low budget. You know, it's Rio Bravo remake. It's any siege western John Carpenter loved. And then that. They start like blasting them. And the gang just throw themselves at the windows and start coming through. You know, the blinds, putting their heads through and get their heads blown off. It's that siren I love. That echoing siren, like down a train tunnel. They're coming down the hallway. I can't hold it. It's an alien. See? It's the combination there of the solid bass line and the but the soaring heights, peaks and troughs of that synth, just, it's blisteringly good. Folks, that was an epic magazine for you there. We covered the police, the Chinese, and their insidious ways. We covered missing people again, and some tragedies there, and some ongoing controversies and mysteries. We covered lights in the sky, spooky voices, and noisy spiders. Noisy fucking spiders. And we covered, fuck it, let's do it again. We covered a lot of music as well. And some of us drank a lot of whiskey. So folks, in the meantime, in this ever explosively, I don't know, China bashing in between time, I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care. Love Chinese food though. We covered a lot of ground. So more coming. Oh, I just forgot something. And Captain Ronnie's gonna get really pissed off now. He sent me a new cinema magazine, and there's Mad Max on the cover. The young Mad Max, when he had a wife and a child. I was meant to cover this. I'll cover it separately, mate. I'll do it separately. Sorry. Can't believe I forgot that. And we have the sequel to Hawk the Slayer behind me there. Gonna cover that as well. Hawk the Slayer. Yeah, it's finally got the sequel it deserved, but not as a film. It's a graphic novel. It's great. So I'll review that for you. But as I say, in the meantime, when it's ever exhaustively overblown in between time, please keep it kilted, keep it Celtic, and I'm going to see you all in a stop motion, dynamation, string-led world near you. A Chinese cop shop. Chop copy